Okay, so as you probably can see, OpenAI has launched O1. So yeah, pretty cool. So into this video, you can see we have image now we can use on O1, so that's pretty cool. So in this video, I just want to take a look at this video that I just posted. I'm gonna do a few tests here using the new O1 model. I'm not gonna do like a deep dive, but I'm just gonna test it out with a few things. And one of those things is gonna be, we're gonna run some advent of code. So I kind of saved up a few here. So I think we're gonna try to run 2 advent of code problems to see if the new O1 model can solve them easily. I expect yes, but let's do that to test out, the new O1 model. But let's just watch the video and then we come back and try a few things I wanna test on this OpenAI O1 full version model. So I thought we could just go through some of the stuff. We're gonna look at this video. So let's just hear what Altman has to say here about the new model.
Jump right into this first day. Today we actually have 2 things to launch. The first one is the full version of O1. We have been very hard at work. We've listened to your feedback. You like O1 preview, but you want it to be smarter and faster and be multimodal and be better at instruction following, a bunch of other things. So we put a lot of work into this, and for scientists, engineers, coders, we think they will really love this new model. I'd like to show you quickly about how it performs. So you can see the jump from GPT-4o to O1 preview across math, competition coding, GPQA.
Okay, so I looked at this, and of course this looks great on paper, right? You can see it kind of crushes here in math, code, and for some reason it's lower in PDH level science. But for me, like, code is kind of the most interesting part, and this looks great on the benchmarks, but again, I'm a bit like, I'm not saying I'm not against benchmarks, but I would like to try it out for myself before I do any conclusions. I'm not gonna do any conclusions just on benchmarks because I like to try it out for my use case. But of course, this looks good, and it looks good on math, and yeah, I guess we just have to try it out before we kind of make up our own mind, because these benchmarks for me have gotten a bit, I don't know, yeah, meaningless as the models have gotten better. And so the other thing they launched was of course the Pro mode. So this is the O1 Pro mode, $200 per month. That is very expensive, right? That is 10 times the cost of, I think, what I pay now. Is that $20 a month? But let's listen to what he has to say about what Pro mode is. And he has a small demo and stuff. We might cover that, but let's just listen now.
ChatGPT Pro also has a special way of using O1 called O1 Pro mode. With O1 Pro mode, you can ask the model to use even more compute to think even harder on some of the most difficult problems. We think the audience for ChatGPT Pro will be the power users of ChatGPT, those who are already pushing the models to the limits of their capabilities on tasks like math, programming, and writing.
Okay, so it's interesting. I kind of like that they are allocating more resources to their power users, as they call it. I think that's a pretty cool concept. But again, am I gonna try it out? I think this is more for, yeah, like he said, researchers, maybe some advanced coding. I don't know, maybe some companies want some versions of this. I'm not quite sure yet. I just have to see what people report back on using Pro mode. I'm not gonna go out and buy this right now because I simply don't think I have a use case for it, to be honest. I don't think I do. Of course, if some reports come back that this is incredible, then I absolutely think it might be worth it. It doesn't take too much to generate like $200 of value in a company, right? Even a researcher could probably do that. But for me, I'm not quite sure. For regular retail users, we just have to wait and see. But yeah, pretty interesting. And it's the first expensive, I would call it, subscription we've seen on these LLMs, right? And some other things they talk about with O1 is that it's going to be much quicker and at least more intelligent in its response. Because if you say something very simple now, it could think 10 seconds. What is the color of an apple? Sometimes it takes like 20 seconds to answer that. That should be instant, right? But I have some news upon this, so we can just have a listen what they say here.
In particular, one piece of feedback we received about O1 Preview constantly was that it was way too slow. It would think for 10 seconds if you said hi to it. And we fixed that.
That was really annoying.
It was kind of funny, honestly.
Yeah.
It really thought. It cared.
Really thought hard about saying hi
It
back to you.
cared.
Yeah.
And so we fixed that. O1 will now think much more intelligently. If you ask it a simple question, it'll respond really quickly. And if you ask it a really hard question, it'll think for a really long time. We ran a pretty detailed suite of human evaluations for this model. And what we found was that it made major mistakes about 34% less often than O1 Preview, while thinking fully about 50% faster. And we think this will be a really, really noticeable difference for all of you. So I really enjoy just talking to these models. I'm a big history buff, and I'll show you a really quick demo of, for example, a sort of question that I might ask one of these models.
Okay, so I think you're just gonna ask about some emperors, but again, I think that's a good thing because we need speed is always an important thing. I guess the way I used O1 Preview was not so dependent on speed. I just use it for very specific use cases when it comes to coding. So for me, it didn't bother me too much, but if I was gonna chat to it in like a daily use, that was horrible. So I couldn't use it for that. But yeah, I think that's a good thing. And of course, like I said, they have added multimodal. So now we can actually do prompting with images. Yeah, that is also something that's a good thing, I think.
People really wanted for everyday use cases that we've had requested a lot is multimodal inputs and image understanding. And Hyungwon is going to talk about that now.
Yep. To illustrate the multimodal input and reasoning.
Yeah, he's just gonna take like an image and yeah, do like a simple prompt with it. So you can go watch the video if you want to do that. But we kind of know what these multimodal prompts consist of now, and it's pretty cool that it comes to O1. I also just wanted to take a look at, they do an example here with the O1 Pro mode. So I think the UI is a bit different, and he says a few things about the compute time. So let's hear it.
So I want to give a short demo of ChatGPT O1 Pro mode. People will find O1 Pro mode the most useful for, say, hard math, science, or programming problems. So here I have a pretty challenging chemistry problem that O1 Preview gets usually incorrect. And so I will let the model start thinking. One thing we've learned with these models is that for these very challenging problems, the model can think for up to a few minutes. I think for this problem, the model usually thinks anywhere from 1 minute to up to 3 minutes.
Okay, so it says 1 to 3 minutes. I don't think I've experienced that on Preview, at least, not 3 minutes. That is pretty interesting. And I want to take a quick look at the UI. I don't think I have seen, if we skip a bit ahead, you can see this part. I haven't seen this UI that we kind of have this box here with this timeline going. So you can also see the Pro mode in the top left corner here. So pretty interesting stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to hearing what people say about Pro mode, how it's been tested. So yeah, I'll probably come back to that sometime, right? So of course, I'm really excited about the API. I think OpenAI has a great documentation and a set of developer tools. So I'm really looking forward to trying out O1 using the API. So they have some news about it. So let's just listen to this, and I'm going to tell you what I think about this.
We're also hard at work to bring O1 to the API. We're going to be adding some new features for developers, structured outputs, function calling, developer messages, and API image understanding, which we think you'll really enjoy. We expect this to be a great model for developers and really unlock a whole new frontier of agentic things you guys can build. We hope you love it as much as we do.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. Structured outputs is very good. We get images, and there were some other things there too. And they said that they're gonna do more developer stuff on the upcoming days of these 12 days they're gonna cover. So I'm probably gonna cover all of that on this channel if there are something interesting for developers. So looking forward to that. That's pretty cool if you ask me. Okay, so let's test out this. So today we're gonna try it out on Advent of Code. So yeah, like I said, I've saved up a couple here. So I think the first one I wanna do is just copy the text. And the second one, we might try images, just to twist it up a bit, right? So let's just grab this, right? And let's copy this. And I'm gonna do like a prompt here, right? And of course we need the input too, and we're gonna try to run this code in Cursor. So I'm just gonna paste in the problem here in the Advent XML tags, and let's just follow up this with, we will feed a text file with the input called xmath.text to the code. So write that in. Now write the code to solve the Advent puzzle. So what I'm gonna look for now is, do we see any changes in speed here? Okay, that was pretty quick. Taught for a couple of seconds, okay? So we get some instructions. I'm gonna zoom in a bit. Create a file named xmas.txt. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Save it, below solve xmas.py. Run the script, code explanation. Okay, so we get that. Do we get the code? Yeah, here we got the code. So let me just copy this. I'm gonna save, I'm gonna grab the input here, right? So I'm just gonna make a text file of this. Okay, so let's save that. Let me grab the code again. I kind of forgot that. Not there, here. So let's copy that. Let's just do a code 4. So not this, but this. Okay. Do we have everything we need here? Okay, so let's save that. We have our file here. I think we can just run this now, right? Should be good to go. So let's do Python a code 4.py. So we get 2545. Okay, so let's try that. That should be, how many times dot xmas appear? 2545. Submit. That's the right answer. You got a gold star, closer to finding the chief historian. Continue to part 2. Okay, so let's do part 2. Let's just continue with part 2 using text, right? So I'm just gonna grab this. Do we get, no, we have the same input. So let me copy this and let me make a new prompt here in O1. Okay, so let's paste in part 2 here and do, this is part 2, same input. Let's try that. Okay, so we taught for 11 seconds. Below is an example that solved part 2 of the puzzle. This time we're looking for x formed by 2 diagonals, each spell mass or sam overlapping with the center A. Okay, that's pretty cool. So we have this pattern, right? Okay, so we get our second code. Let's grab this code. So put your file name in a puzzle xmas.txt, create a new file, run it, and print the number of total, right? Okay, so we can do a new Python file here, a code for 2.py, right? Paste in this second part, and let's run it. So we get 1886, okay, that's pretty cool. And we can answer 1886. That's the right answer. You got 1 gold star. Finding you have completed day 4. Good job. Good job. So that was a pass. I did actually expect that from O1. Now I want to try to do the same on a new alternative code, but this time I want to use images just to see if we can read OCR good, right? So let's go to puzzle 3. I think I want to save 5 for myself. So let's do a screenshot here now. So let's screenshot day 3, right? Okay, that should be fine. Let's copy this. Let's go back to O1. So that. So I can paste this in and let me do a prompt here. So we have the image, right? This is the advent of code puzzle 3. Input is on a file named xmas.txt. Write code to solve the problem, please. Okay, so let's see now if this takes any longer. So it's thinking, oh, that was just a couple of seconds again. Before we read this, let's grab the input. Okay, so let's copy that. Let's go here and let's just replace this, right? Okay. And if you go back now, you can zoom in a bit. Key points of the approach. So we're going to use some regular expression to match the valid, convert x and y to integers, print the final sum. The pattern ensures. Okay, so we get a good explanation, right? How this works. Refind all returns a list of tuples. We iterate over each match, passing them integers. In the end, print out the sum. Okay. So make sure xmas in the same directory. We can do that. I think we're just gonna do an a code 3.py. Paste in the code, and do we feed in this? Yes, we do. Let's do 3.py, and we get this big number, 18 188.92.787. So that is going to be the sum of, if we add up all the results of the multiplications. So let's try that. That's the right answer. You are 1 gold star closer. Continue to part 2. So this is looking good. Again, I want to follow up with a screenshot. So let's screenshot part 2. Okay, let's copy that. And let's just do the same as we did with part 1. Let's just do a new chat here. And this is part 2. So this same input. Again, I'm going to try to read this using the image, and I think we should be fine, to be honest. So let's just do an a code 32.py, all right. So now it taught for how many seconds? Again, just a couple of seconds, so it's pretty quick. As before, we need XMAS input, parsing instructions, regular expressions. So we're going to use this pattern, okay? I want to copy the code. Let's read here. Yeah, pretty good explanation. I like this. It's very structured. So we used find iter and we used this regex. Okay. Let's paste in this. Do we have the xmas.txt? Let's run it. Part 2. 113.965544. So it's looking pretty good, but I gotta say, this was kinda expected. These models are very good at these lead code style problems. Was it correct? That was not the correct answer. Okay. That was a bit strange. That might be my error. Okay, so I didn't copy the full answer, I think. That was my bad. So I forgot this. So let's try now. Okay, so I have to wait 24 seconds left to wait. But I think that was my bad. I didn't paste the full answer. So let's give it a sec just to check, but I'm pretty sure this is correct. Yeah, that's the right answer. So it did pretty good on reading the images. I think that's nice to finally get images in the O1 model. So I think that's gonna be the testing I'm gonna do today. I have more ideas, but I want to think a bit more about it. I just wanted to try this advent of code and we watched the video, so it's pretty cool to have the full version here. I'm personally, of course, is looking forward to the API version so we can start doing some agentic workflows. Yeah, so thank you if you stayed all the way here. I'm a bit sick. I don't know if you heard it in my voice. So, but I'm gonna try to cover these OpenAI days if they have something interesting. So look out for that. But I'm feeling pretty down. Hope it wasn't too bad, my voice, during this video. But anyway, pretty cool day. It's gonna be interesting to test it out more. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day, and we speak soon.